Right, people, welcome to the YouTube. Almost all of you will be coming from the Instagram, so as you know, I am Callum Shreds, a 16-year-old aspiring bodybuilder hoping to compete in about a year's time. Been lifting for about 3 years, obviously was fat, then got lean, and now I am getting into bodybuilding and looking to obviously compete soon. So that's sort of where I'm at now. Most of you will know me from Instagram, but I've decided to venture to the long form YouTube videos. So today's first ever video will be a full day of eating and maybe a Q&A if you guys put in enough questions, but mainly just a full day of eating. So today is a training day for me. It's a Monday, I've got a day off school, so I thought I'd film the video so I can take some more time making my meals and show you through all the meals. So we've got 5 meals today. We're going to have pre-workout, post-workout, and then 3 meals after that because I am training pretty early. It's about 8:30 in the morning right now. I'll be training at 10. So now we're going to go make my pre-workout meal. I'm going to talk you through how to make it, the macros for that, also show you my intra-workout and my morning supplements. And then we'll head off to the gym and then I'll show you the rest of the meals for the day. So look forward to it. Sit back, relax. Hopefully grab a bit of food if you have some in your meal plan and enjoy the video. Right, here we are in the kitchen for meal number 1. But first, let me talk you through the morning supplements. So as soon as I wake up, from the night before, I'll have a shaker prepped with about 500 ml of water for hydration as soon as I wake up, plus 20 mils of aloe vera juice just to aid with digestion and yeah, just gut health pretty much. And then also I'll put my 10 grams of creatine in that shake there. Drink that while I'm doing my morning steps. So this morning I did about 35, 40 minutes of steps before I've hopped on here. And that's sort of like my morning expenditure as I can't really get to the gym in the morning. So sadly I can't do my cardio in the morning. So I just do some steps then. But I had that morning shake. And now with my first meal, right before I'll literally have these supplements and then immediately go and eat the first meal. And these are 1 men's multivitamin. Take 1 of them. 2,000 IUs or 2 1,000 IU tablets of vitamin D. 3 triple strength omega-3s. So 3 of them, so that is equivalent to 9 regular omega-3s, so I can get 2,700 milligrams of PHA DPA. Might be a little bit excessive, but it's a great supplement to overdose on. Gives you bulletproof joints, great cognitive health. Amazing. And then the last of the morning supplements is a vitamin C tablet, which has 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. So that is the morning supplements, 20 mils of aloe vera juice, 10 grams of creatine in there as soon as I wake up. Then with meal 1, a multivitamin, 2 vitamin Ds, 3 triple strength fish oils, and a vitamin C tablet. That just covers all the general health, just for great performance, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all you really need. People can sprinkle in extra stuff. I do also, later in the day, take another supplement, which I'll show you, but I don't think it's really necessary. It covers all your bases. Obviously, once you get to the higher level, and also once you can afford more supplements, then that's a different story. But for now, at the level I'm at, these are all that I need. Right, so now the pre-workout meal, time to make it. So it is cream of rice. So I will use rice flour, and then on top of that layer, I'll have frozen raspberries, and then also some whey protein made into a whey paste, but we make the whey paste and that later. So now just the base, which is the cream of rice. So sadly, I can't get like Trained by JP cream of rice or anything in Australia. So rice flour, actually really cheap, does the job, so no issues there. Right, so to make the cream of rice, I used a 5-to-1 water ratio. So I've got 100 grams of rice flour, so I'm gonna put 500 grams of boiling water into my bowl. $480, it's good enough. I don't want it to be too dense. And then 100 grams of rice flour. So what I do is I'll quickly pour this in and then whisk it. A trick, use a whisk. Don't use a fork or a spoon, just use a whisk. It makes it so much easier. It gives it a better consistency, no lumps. Absolutely perfect. That's 100 grams. So now straight into whisking that so that it doesn't form any lumps. Right, now that we have got our rice flour mixed up in the boiling water, it's time to microwave it. So I'm not going to show you the whole thing, because pretty much what I'll do is I'll microwave it for like 50 seconds, get it out, whisk it, because what it will do, the bit that actually cooks and solidifies will go on the bottom, so you need to mix that into the rest of the mixture. 50 seconds mix, 50 seconds mix, 50 seconds mix. Then once it's almost done, I'll add my flavoring into here, which I will show you. Right, and surprisingly, after 150 seconds in the microwave, it's now pretty much done. So what I'll do is I'll add my mix-ins in. That will thin it out a little bit, and then I'll put it in again, and then we'll chuck it in the freezer to cool down and to solidify a little bit more. So what I put into the cream of rice, sweetener. It's probably not the best, but it makes it taste a whole lot better. It doesn't affect my digestion, and it doesn't have any calories, so no issues for me there. So put in like a good amount of that in. Then cinnamon, really good, tastes amazing. Don't really need to explain that one. Good amount of that one in, and a bit of vanilla extract just to give it a little bit extra sweetness and flavor. Doesn't really have any calories. I don't go crazy with this. Just about that much, just to give it that extra flavor, because as we know, used to be Chef Callum, I am still a chef and a flavor connoisseur, so I do like my meals to taste quite nice. Judging by the thickness here, I think it'll only need another 20 seconds or so. So let's bang that in. That is now done. It is, you know, some people get it thick enough to hold over their head and stuff. I don't really want it that thick, and also I don't know if it'll go that thick considering I volumized it quite a lot. But let me just grab a spoon. Now what I do is smooth the top out here, ready for my toppings. Now that is done, ready to go into the freezer to solidify a little bit more and just to cool down, cool enough to eat it. So just pop that in there and wait while we make the rest of our toppings. First port of call while that is freezing, whey paste. I already showed you how to make this in a video, but it is very simple. 45 grams of whey today. So let's weigh that out into a bowl. Some people use a mug. I like to use a bowl just so I have more room to stir. Then it won't spill, and also, you know, you need to stir it quite a bit, so you don't want to risk spilling some of it. 45 grams in there. Now come to the tap here, which you can't see in frame. Literally added like a drop of water, and just because of how absorbent the whey is, it's going to absorb like a lot of that. Just slowly add it in, a little bit at a time. If you put too much, you're going to fuck it up, and then you can't reverse it from there. So take the little bit of extra time, put in tiny little bits, tiny little amounts. Put a bit too much there. And here we are, now it's coming together. And a bit of stirring now, our whey paste is complete and looking delicious. So that will go in the fridge so that it doesn't melt, but it also, if I put it in the freezer, it'll go too hard. So I'll put that in the fridge just until I'm ready to put it on my cream of rice, and then that will be a perfect consistency. Right, second port of call, make the intra workout. So I will talk you through the whole intra workout right now. And pretty much what it is just carb powder. I use Powerade just because it has the hydration formula in there. And also it's available in store, so I don't have to buy it online. So just Powerade powder. And then also My Protein, please sponsor me, give me an affiliation, give me something. 10 grams of EAAs. Just to, as soon as I break down the muscle in the gym, I can get that muscle protein synthesis started to start that recovery and growth process. Obviously the carbs to give me energy intra-workout and the hydration formula in case I'm sweating. It is push today, so I want to say easiest session, like it's the least amount of working sets and the exercises aren't overly fatiguing. So it's not going to be a session where I'm heavily sweating, but still necessary for peak performance, especially in a diet. And then I fill that up with 700 mils of water and drink that intra-workout. Give that a lovely big shake. And there we go. Intra-workout done. 30 grams of carb powder, 10 grams of EAAs, comes to 154 calories, 10 grams of protein, 29 grams of carbs, and no fats. So that is the intra-workout, what I drink during the workout. And it's almost like a little meal in itself, but definitely necessary for any serious lifters. Also just prepping a little bit for the post-workout meal, but I'll show you that after the workout. Into the fridge. Now our third and last port of call before we get the cream of rice out is make our coffee. So every morning, most days I'm at school, so I'm not working out right after it, but every morning I will have a coffee with just 1 teaspoon, a little bit less because this is a stronger coffee, but just 1 teaspoon of instant coffee, a heaped teaspoon of sweetener. Obviously, love this shit. You'll see me use it a lot today. But just them, and then with a lot of hot water right up to the top, and then just a little splash of fat-free milk. I don't like when I see bodybuilders say, oh, I've got to drink black coffee. Literally add like a drop of full fat, like no fat, like fully fat-free skim milk in there. It's literally adding 10, 20 calories, but it's going to improve the taste so much. No one likes black coffee unless you're a maniac. Let's be realistic here. So add your sweetener, add your coffee, hot water, and then just a dash of milk. It's gonna save your life. It's gonna make it taste so much better, and it just won't make any adverse effects, so there's no reason not to do it. Right, here it is. Skim milk, 99% fat-free. 90 calories per cup, 250 mils. We're using about 20 here. That's literally about like 10 calories. Like, come on. So you just... That's all you need to add. Give it a stir. And look how nice that comes out. Like, stop with this whole, oh, I've got to have black coffee bullshit. It's just propaganda, making you more miserable. Just enjoy your coffee with a little bit of milk. I have actually got a coffee machine here, but we are just waiting on some beans for that. And then it'll be even better because we can have a long black with a proper espresso shot and then a splash of milk. But for now, instant coffee does its job and a very enjoyable beverage in the morning. Now, time for the toppings, which is as simple as 100 grams of crushed berries. Now this cream of rice is solidified perfectly. It is looking lovely. So 100 grams of frozen raspberries on there. Spread them out. Get the dead ends off of them. And then get rid of the scales. And last but definitely not least, the ultra thick whey paste whey drip. The bad thing is after the aesthetic first pour is a real bitch to get out of the bowl, and most of it ends up just sticking in there. But it's the whey paste tax, it's the tax the bowl takes on it. But for the bit you do get in there, absolutely lovely. And here we are, the pre-workout meal, cream of rice, with 100 grams of cream of rice, 45 grams of whey protein, and 100 grams of frozen raspberries. That totals to 542 calories, 39 grams of protein, 88 grams of carbs, and 3 grams of fat. This will digest perfectly. Gonna wait an hour, then go to the gym. That will fuel the session nicely, and that is meal one. I'm gonna go devour this, and then I'll join you back pre-workout for my caffeine hit. So I'll see you then, but until then, I'm gonna go enjoy this with some lovely Netflix. Right, so we're back in the chair. The Middle is the show I'm watching recently, got put on Netflix. Really like it, would recommend. But the pre-workout, I'm not a fan of pre-workouts, right? They're expensive. You have to order them online. Most times they've got a shit ingredient profile. So I just have a Monster, because, right, L-citrulline, something that they never really have enough of. Beta-alanine, that shit makes me feel like shit. It does amp you up, but it literally deters you from your sets. It is dependent person to person, and obviously the caffeine content, you normally have to take quite a lot of pre-workout to get a lot of caffeine, and you don't really need a lot of caffeine either. And then the rest of the ingredients, there's some, like taurine, there's some stuff to it, but Monster for me. So got the Ultra Peachy Keen, 160 milligrams caffeine, no calories, about 30 minutes out now from my first working set in the gym, if we want to be exact with it. So I'll rip this now, that'll get into my system, keep me held over for the whole session, increase tolerable perception of effort, block androgen receptors so that I won't get as tired. And yeah, great supplement, highly recommend caffeine, but this is the pre-workout. So now we're gonna drink this. Haven't had that flavor in a while. Gonna drink that and now go to the gym, hit a lovely, hopefully really, really good push session. Might do some post-workout posing, probably not though. And then we'll meet you back here for meal two and the post-workout meal. So for me, that'll be in about 3.5 hours. Also going to do some cardio post-workout as well, but that'll be about 3.5 hours for me. But for you, that'll be about 2 seconds. So see you for the post-workout meal or posing. Right, people, we are back from the workout. What you just saw was the intra-workout shots. That was like halfway through my workout. I had pretty good lighting, so I thought I might as well just set up the camera and do a few little poses. Very happy with how the look is tightening. Definitely some areas that still need to get leaner, but the abdomen definitely leaner than I've ever been before. Seeing my abs for the first time ever, and they're looking really, really good, and everything else is looking good as well, so I am happy. Had a great push session, and now time for the biggest meal of the day, meal 2, which is the post-workout meal. So what does the post-workout meal consist of? Well, it's cereal. The milk for the cereal is protein whey mixed with water, made into like a milk, which I made before. And then also banana. So normally what some people do is they chop up the banana, put it in with the cereal. I'm not a fan of that, so I just eat the banana now while I'm prepping up this meal, just because I like it separately and don't really want to cut it up, or don't really want it in the meal. Also did 30 minutes of cardio post-workout as well, so it's been a while since I've eaten. It's 1:10 p.m. now, which was like 3 hours since my last meal, so fiending for some food. But now the cereal, Harry has programmed 135 grams of the UK Rice Krispies, and they're like equivalent macros to the Australian rice bubbles. Now I chose these because they're very voluminous, like they're just puffed bits of rice. They digest really well, got a lot of volume, so they keep me full even when like the cereal amount is not like massive. So it's yeah. So what I will do though is 100 grams of these, and it is 135 grams of cereal, but these are a little bit more, slightly more calorie dense. So we'll do 30 grams of these, 100 grams of those, and then together that would be the equivalent of the 135 grams, just because these are very nice. They add some good flavor, and it just adds some variety to the cereal. This is the same bowl I pretty much put all my meals in. I need to get a plastic version for a bit more convenience, but alright, that's 100 grams in there. Now time for 30 grams of this. I could do all of these, like the whole cereal of these, but they're not very voluminous, so I like to sort of mix it around so I still get the volume. That was We're back. Most of it collected up into the box. You'd think this would be like an irregular occurrence, but just yesterday I was carrying my beef and rice meal and it just dropped and went all over the floor. The worst part is we've got 2 cats and a dog, so there's fur everywhere, so there's gonna be fur all over that. But what I was trying to say before I dropped the bag, before the bag kicked the bucket, is that I did 34 grams, because why not? So that's then 134 grams of cereal, and now I will pour this over the top. Quickly add a bit more sweetener, just because the rice bubbles are just puffed rice. There's no actual sweetness in them. And then that will be meal number 2, the post-workout meal. So 135 grams of the UK Rice Krispies, which is the equivalent of this. 54 grams of whey in here, 100 grams / 1 banana, and that is meal 2, 825 calories, 47 grams of protein, 147 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of fat. So biggest meal of the day. Again, very high carbs to replenish the glycogen, that energy lost in the training to aid recovery. Low fats for quick digestion, and high protein to start that muscle protein synthesis, that recovery and that growth process. But that is meal 2, so that my cereal doesn't get soggy. After I turn the camera off, I'll literally pour that over, put that on there, get straight into the room, watch more of the middle and tuck into this meal. But the banana, which I've already eaten, meal number 2. Right, it is 3:15, and that means it's time for meal 3. Now, meal 3 is going to be a yogurt bowl with some 0% fat / YoPro yogurt, a little bit of whey protein, some frozen raspberries, and some dark chocolate. This is the only carb-free meal on a training day just because we moved everything around. So this is the only carb-free meal. The next 2 meals have a little bit of voluminous carbs in each of them. They are both going to be chicken variation meals. So yeah, but it's not a bad meal and I'm looking forward to it. So we've already got 200 grams of the yogurt in here. And with that, I will add 15, so about half a scoop, 15 grams of whey protein into that. Of course, a little bit of sweetener. Pop that in there. And then I mix that yogurt and whey together. Just because I didn't go with any flavoured yogurt this time, I'll add a dash of vanilla extract just to give it a little bit more sweetness, because plain Greek yogurt is quite sour. Cool. Now, what I do is add my frozen raspberries, 100 grams. Just 80, because that's all that's left in the bag and I can't be bothered to get another one out. And then what I'll do is mix this up so the raspberries are combined in the yogurt. Like so. And now with this, the frozen raspberries are obviously going to chill the yogurt, and I'll also pop this in the freezer while I cut up my dark chocolate. And then what that will end up doing is thickening up into borderline ice cream. So it ends up being really, really nice. So then I chuck this in the freezer. Then while that's in there, cut up my dark chocolate and also stare at these delicious cookies that I sadly do not get to eat. But after the diet, best believe I'm pounding some of these. Now what I do is cut that into borderline shavings, just because everyone knows dark chocolate's quite bitter. So what I do is cut it up very, very small, so I get a little piece throughout the entire thing, and it's not too bitter, but gives it a lovely chocolate flavour. So now that I've cut that up, I will grab the yogurt back out the freezer and mix that into it. There it is, all mixed in, and that is the final concoction, looking lovely, creamy and delicious. Don't mind this meal, you know, it's not overly voluminous, it's not overly filling, but it does a job and it tastes nice. But that is meal 3. 200 grams of 0% fat yogurt, 15 grams of whey, 100 grams of frozen berries, and 30 grams of 85% dark chocolate. 373 calories, 35 grams of protein, 18 grams of carbs, and 15 grams of fat. So I will go enjoy this, watch a bit of the footy, maybe go for a little drive, and then meet you back for meal 4, which will probably also consist of making a bit of meal 5, but see you then. Meal number 3. Right, people, we are back for meal 4 and prepping meal 5. So meal number 4 is going to be chicken, salad, avocado, and a little bit of potato. So right now I'm just going to cut up the potatoes. I've got potato in the next 2 meals. I've got 220 grams in this meal, 450 grams in the next meal. So obviously, because I'm not stupid, I'm just going to cook them together now. So I'm going to cut up 670 grams of potatoes, just dice them up into cubes. Oh, yeah, oh, actually maybe not. I might dice the first lot up into cubes and the second lot up, the 450 grams, into chips, so I can know how to tell the difference on my pan, and then I will put them on there and get ready to cook them. Right, so as you just saw, the potatoes are done cooking, so now it's time to prep the rest of the stuff for this meal I'm about to eat, which is chicken, salad, avocado, and then those potatoes. So, as you saw a video a couple weeks ago of how I cooked the chicken, I actually switched it up this week. So what I did was actually bulk prepped it, fully breast, just chucked it on the pan and cooked it. It turned out really, really nice. I'm really happy with it. But now this just means that I can just cut off with the scissors what I need for every meal, and it makes it really, really convenient. So I need 73 grams cooked for this meal. Now, the method to reheating this perfectly is add a dash of water. Just added a dash of water. Now, cling film, airtight over the top of the bowl. It's getting a little bit messy around here, but that's all right. There it is, airtight around the bowl. Then grab a knife and just poke 5 little holes in there, and then microwave that for around a minute, 50 seconds. Then it will come out nice and soft, tender and juicy, and hold its flavor, and won't come out rubbery and stuck together like if you just took it off and microwaved it. Now the rest of this meal is 100 grams of salad and 40 grams of avocado. So I've got my salad mix here. Just because it's in quite large pieces, I like to weigh it out. Then once I've weighed it out, I like to grab the chopping board back again and just grab it. And then, yeah, just go like that. Grab it bit by bit, chop it up, and then once it's chopped up nice and small, put it into the bowl. Now that's the salad done. Time to then grab the avocado, 40 grams. Yeah, bomb that in there. Yeah, that's 40 grams. And now we've got that, we can grab our potatoes that we've cooked and pop them in here. Now once we've got our potatoes in, we will just fire in our lovely heated up cooked chicken breast. Top the meal with some barbecue sauce. Add some salt. And there you have it. Meal number 4. 100 grams of chicken breast raw weight, 100 grams of salad, 40 grams of avocado, and 220 grams of Spud Light potatoes, which are like lower carb potatoes. 314 calories, 28 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, and 9 grams of fat. Not a huge like macro meal, but very big volume and tastes amazing. So it is 6:30 now. We're going to go nail this, and then we'll come back in 2 hours for the 5th and final meal. Meal number 4. Right, people, sadly, I couldn't get into the kitchen because there were other people in there to film me making this meal, but meal number 5 got a lemon, lime, and bitter, 0 sugar to go with it. But this is the actual meal. 450 grams of Spud Light, 150 grams raw weight chicken, 35 grams of avocado, 30 grams of peas, 5 grams of olive oil drizzled over the top with a little bit of sugar-free barbecue and sugar-free garlic or fat-free garlic aioli, like low-calorie garlic aioli. That is the full meal. 530 calories, 42 grams of protein, 54 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fat. And that is the end of the full day of eating. I'll do a wrap up after this, but this is the lovely meal 5. I'm going to go devour this and give you the totals and the conclusion at the end. Meal number 5. Right, people, there it is, the full day of eating wrapped up. So let me give you the totals. The total calories for the training day diet meal plan is 2,730 calories, 201 grams of protein, 348 grams of carbs, and 45 grams of fats. So not overly low, okay? We're about 2/3 of the way into this diet. It's going very, very well. Expenditure is pretty high, 12,000 steps a day, 30 minutes of cardio every single day, which is plus also, you know, obviously pull PPL up a lower 5 weight sessions a week. So it is pretty tough on the body. So the food has not had to drop super low. We're still dropping weight. Like I think the past couple of days I've dropped like over 2 pounds. So I'm really happy with how the progress is going. The diet's going really well, but that is the full day of eating on a training day. 2/3 of the way into this mini cut, setting myself up for a big push-up before going into a prep, which will be great content. But that's all I need to say. I won't yap on because the video is probably long enough as it is. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it went well. Obviously, I'm the one editing this, so I hope the editing is well. Let me know down below any questions you have, any comments you want to make, any suggestions for videos, and I will make them. And any recommendations for editing or anything, just leave it down below. I hope this went well. I hope you enjoyed this video, but that's all for the full day of eating and Q&A and the first YouTube video of Callum Shreds. A lot more to come. Of course, let me know anything. If you made it this far, comment down below diet. Comment down below diet if you've made it this far, which I'll be very surprised. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video, the first of many. That's a full day of eating. That's a wrap. Callum Shreds out.